into the game, and he was the outball all the time. They were very much down this left-hand channel for some reason, maybe because Wirtz was there and they were threading it into him. Then all of a sudden they were realising there was a bit of space there, and it just come around that 40th minute mark where it opened up for him. And listen, he's got a great turn of pace, hasn't he? And if he's got space in front of him, he's not frightened of going into it with that pace, and that's what he did. And then Ray's right, sometimes it's not about picking someone out, it's just about putting in an area, and it was a lovely little pull back, and you just wait and go on. Listen, 50-50, it's one of them, whether it's one of ours or one of theirs on the end of it. Gravenberch was there and he finished it off really well, but it was down to the persistence of Frimpong.
Yeah, certainly a bit of a road runner, beep on that outside, he's away. We'll speak about some of the defensive issues, concerns in a second, but let's hear from a defender just now. We can get the thoughts of Virgil van Dijk, who's inside, speaking with Pete.
Well, Virgil, congratulations. Another hard-fought 3 points at Anfield.
Yeah, definitely. I think, unfortunately, obviously, to concede the goal in the second half quite early on, that gives obviously them a big boost, some momentum for them to crack on. And I think we played a very, very good first half. 2 good goals. Possession, we were good. Defensively, we were solid, and no problems. And I think the second, obviously, they come out with a lot more pressure, and they have to try and do the same things. And that was said in the half time. And unfortunately, we couldn't do that. But obviously, that's also part of how Wolves did that. But overall, we found a way, and that's key, especially in the season and in the moment where we are, where we have obviously a lot of injuries and players missing, and it's not an excuse for the second half, but obviously it's good that we got the win, and that's very important.
Where the positives are concerned, it was control, wasn't it? Like you said, first half, 2 quick fire goals in the first half as well. Great, brilliantly created goals, both of them.
Yeah, 100%. But obviously, like what I said, the first half they didn't press as high as they did the second half, but obviously it was going to be expected because they're 2-0 down. But yeah, I think first half we did very well, and that's something that we should build on.
Sometimes it happens that way, doesn't it? It's not going to all of a sudden be brilliant and super creative all the time. You have to dig deep, and you've proven that as a squad that you can do that when you need to.
Yeah, 100%. You have to find a way to win, and I think if you look at the season, it's been up and down. Good games and unfortunately some bad games, and then you have to try and do everything and fight for every second on the pitch, and I think you can see that not only today, but obviously over the last couple of games as well, that we really want to get the wins on the board, and today was a good one.
The manager spoke about rolling your sleeves up. Can you feel it kind of coming as a squad now? You mentioned before that there's youngsters on the bench. You're having to play through the pain barrier sometimes also. 100%,
but obviously that's part of the game. And towards the end you have to dig deep, and especially when they have 4 up front and they go all in and second ball fight. But that's part of the game as well that you have to be ready for, and I think we showed that too. Obviously, it doesn't always look the prettiest, but I think we are glad that we got the win, and it's on to the next.
How pleased were you to see Flo get his goal today? He had one taken off him a couple of weeks ago, but with each game, each performance we're seeing now, the best of him by the looks of things.
Yeah, he's getting more used to the intensity, to the way we play. He's very important on the ball. Obviously, his qualities are. Is no debate about it. So we are very pleased for him, but obviously he should be very pleased with the goal as well. And I think after 60-something minutes he was quite tired. So that's something that he and we have to work on as well. And in order to do that every 3 days for 90+ minutes.
And can I just ask you, it was a tough start to the day, tough start to the afternoon to do what you did to lead Diogo's children out at the start of the game. I'm sure it was an honour, but so difficult for the boys.
Yeah, listen, it was an absolute honour to have the boys with me, with Ali as well together, and I think it was something I was really looking forward to. Obviously, after discussions with Ruth and the family, it was really something I looked forward to. It was going to be emotional, but I think it's something that the boys will remember forever, and hopefully there's more to come in the future for them, and they can keep enjoying Liverpool, because Liverpool is the place obviously that's very big to their heart, and Diogo will always stay with us forever, of course. So I was very, very proud to have them with us, and the fans, I think, appreciate that as well. Thank you.
Yeah, nice to give the boys that nice moment at the end of what has been a very, very difficult year for them, and of course Diogo's entire family. got a lot to pick out from what Virgil had to say. You know, he spoke about the different approach first half and second half from Wolves, and the stats kind of backed that up. 77% possession for Liverpool up until half time. It dropped by sort of 10% or so in the second half. You saw first half, there was a moment where they went to break from a corner, and it was Ado Kadari went to burst forward. All of a sudden he saw Rob Edwards on the field. He said, whoa, get back in your own half, don't you dare go past the halfway line. That was their approach in the first half. So we had the challenge of breaking down. Second half, they throw more at it. It asks a few questions, and they get that goal, Jason, from a set piece. That'll be 11 now from set pieces, if my maths are correct from the stats pre-match. It's there for all to see. It is a weakness at the moment and something that can give other teams inspiration.
You've got to know your limitations as a team, and listen, the stats don't lie when it comes to Wolves. 2 points from 17 games. Worst defensive record, don't score goals. You've got to come to Anfield and try and get something. That something is a point. You start with a point, he's trying to hold on to it, creates a bit of confidence and momentum, and that inevitably means that you drop deep, you make it very difficult, you stay in the game for as long as you can, and hopefully you get something towards the end that you go and nick it, or you can hang on to that point. So, that's their game plan. It's understandable. He's looking for something. He's looking to try and create something where they get something out of a game. But it wasn't to be. We spoke about just switching off towards the end of that first half. Maybe it was a bit of tiredness. Maybe someone was just caught out of position. Liverpool exploited it. He'll be disappointed that it's ended up 2 at half time. 1-0 down at half time. You'd always feel like you're back into it. But it went to 2. His team talk's obviously gone and changed at half time. And then he's thrown caution to the wind, hasn't he? He's just gone, right, let's, as Virgil just mentioned in his interview there, let's attack higher up the pitch, let's press higher up the pitch, let's just see what we get. If we get a set piece, let's make sure it counts. The ball comes in the box, and again, down to our frailties, they get something out of it, and then all of a sudden they're back into it. Then Liverpool get nervous. That's the nature of the game, isn't it? When you're 2-1, you're fighting, you believe in yourself, you've scored. Liverpool are on the ropes a little bit. Liverpool showed some good character though today, I've got to admit.
Another boxing analogy.
Another one.
But that's the reality, isn't it? Is once you concede a goal from a set piece, that anxiety level creeps up around the stadium and in the team as well. It's human nature, but you've got to try and eradicate both of those things. Primarily stop conceding goals from set pieces, but if you do, don't let it bring an anxiety into your play.
Yeah, I mean, it's very strange. Like, you've gone from a team that's completely dominated the first half possession-wise, you've got your 2-goal advantage. You should be coming out to start the second half, and the first thing you should be thinking is, the next player, Jason, will tell you, it's 0-0. In your head, you should be thinking it's 0-0. We're not 2-0 up, it's 0-0. We've got to keep doing what we were doing in the second half, what we did in the first. Retain possession, work it well, make the pitch big, tire them out. And if you don't do that, and then you start protecting, you go backwards. And then you give them the incentive to come and create some opportunities. Now, they had maybe 1 or 2 shots in the first half. That was it. Nothing else. Then all of a sudden, the second half, they look a different team. Why is it taking them 2-0 down to change tactics to go and have a go? I mean, sometimes I don't understand football that way. At 0-0, why don't you have a go then? You need to win. That's simple as that. You need to keep winning and winning to retain your Premier League status for next season. A draw's not going to do you any good. You need to win. You need to get that confidence and belief into your players. And by sitting back in the manner they did, all they were saying to me, Liverpool, come on then, you keep attacking, and maybe if we get 1 or 2 half chances, maybe a set play, we'll get a goal from that and maybe get something from it. And then when they go to 2-0 down, they have a go in the second half, they get back to 2-1, and then Liverpool, the team that are sitting back. I mean, when you look at our outfield players, most of them were in their own half, back defending, trying to frustrate Wolves to stop them getting the equaliser. So it's just the different dynamic how football works. But we've got to learn, like we should have learned against Spurs, 2-0 up, playing against 9 men in the end, 10 men at the time, but 2-0 up, how do we pass the ball, make the pitch big to stop the opposition getting any incentive to get back into it?
But it's something that I think Steve and Aldo touched on briefly before they came to us. It's Leeds United coming here next. We saw how effective they can be from set pieces just a couple of weeks ago. We've seen they've got Dominic Calvert-Lewin now, who's one of the best forwards in the Premier League in the air with his hang time he gets and the way he puts himself about. So we need to have a plan for set pieces in 4 days' time, whatever it is, 5 days' time. That's the reality of it. Do you know what I mean? But because it's a theme that keeps coming up. Arno doesn't shy away, but he brings it up himself in media conferences.
Yeah,
he's obviously perplexed as we are about it. What do you do as a player? You know, you've been a defensive kind of player at times, Jason. What would you be doing as a group to say, look, we can't keep doing this?
Well, I think we spoke about zonal marking, didn't we? I'm not a fan of zonal marking. I would change it. But listen, they hire set-piece coaches now. You know, they're in a position where I'm sure they're paid very well to figure these problems out. And if we don't figure it out, then, you know, we may have to look at someone and go, you've got to find an alternative. You know, we're having discussions with the manager, with the coaching staff. You know, maybe he feels they need to change. Maybe the manager wants to continue. I don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but you're right. It's an issue. It's an issue. You know, you look for trends, you look for data, you use the stats for what they are, and you try and find what the trend is. The trend is we're not very good at defending set pieces, so we need to do something. I mean, Aldo touched on it there, and me and Ray both went, yeah, good point. Leave 2 or 3 players up, because they won't leave 2 or 3 players on their own in case there's a break and we get in.
It's funny how that. It seems to make sense, but coaches and teams are reluctant to do it. It's almost a game of cat and mouse, isn't it?
It's like sometimes I think, you know, with all due respect to coaches, they complicate it sometimes. It's not rocket science sometimes. Listen, let's just change the numerical order of things.